G'day everyone, welcome back to the studio. I am, oh my goodness, I've started with this one already, but then I had to go and close the blinds and stop the sun from coming and shining onto my canvas here. So my masking liquid has already started to set. That's why I made that boo-boo there. But anyhow, I don't know, this is a canvas. I don't know if this is going to stick to it, or rather if it's going to come off it when I need it to. Just trying to sort of save any mess underneath my canvas. I really don't like having to clean my canvases afterwards, because I find it so time consuming, and sometimes it damages your canvas. So anyway, I'm placing this on, and even if it sticks to my canvas and doesn't sort of peel off, it doesn't matter, because the resin drips will stick to, sorry about the noise, I'm just trying to get my alcohol wipe here and clean my gloves. The resin will stick to this and it will come off easy. Comes off easy off any kind of silicone or anything like that, latex and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing, and I made a bit of a mess down here, but that's alright. And this is pretty wet, so what I'm going to do is just going to rub it on the bottom or the back side of my canvas, just like that, while I'm cleaning it and wetting my canvas a little bit, because that helps to stiffen the canvas so you don't get that warping. So now that I've done that, I've got to wait a little bit for it to dry up, and I might speed up the process with my hairdryer. Anyway, I'll be back in a second. Okay, all dried up now, so I've got some stands here. These are, I've only got 3. I had 4, but I don't know what happened with the 4th one. And these are just lids from like a spray paint. And now that that is dried, I'm going to pop them. So yeah, that's going to be fine. Just make sure I'm all lined up for you guys. And I might mix up some resin. Okay, so for the newbies, if you are not a newbie and you know how to mix resin, fast forward. But what I have here is just a cup. It's a measuring cup, and I've already poured my resin in here. The resin that I'm using is Platinum, is the name of the company. 2:1 ratio. And the name of the resin is Supercoat. So I'll show you. This comes in like that. These are just small. So Platinum, Supercoat, 2:1 ratio. I know the bottles are the same size, but there's different amounts in there. So 2 parts of part A, which is your resin, and 1 part of hardener. Okay, so I just measured for this little piece. I'm figuring I probably only need 75 milliliters. If I need more, I'll add more. So 50 milliliters of part A, that's 2 parts, and 25 milliliters of part B, which is your hardener. So you need both of them for it to work. And now just stirring for about 3 minutes until it's nice and properly stirred. If you see any kind of hair looking like strings in there, it's not stirred in properly, so you've got to keep on going. And that scraping, that's just the resin that I didn't clean properly off this cup. You can see it's pretty grotty, the cup. I've just been using it over and over again, but nothing's coming off. And this particular resin, it's self-gassing, so there's not a lot of bubbles in it, just a few real big ones. And it's a real pleasure to use. So because today is quite a warm day, the resin, oh, my air conditioner just turned off. Give me a second, I might have to fix that. Okay, I got it going again. That was strange, that never happened before. It just turned off randomly all by itself. So I can't remember what I was talking about before. Self-gassing, I'm using the old cup. I can't remember. It'll probably come to me. So once there are no strings in there, no hair looking like strings, you're ready to go. And then I'm going to pour some in here. So I'm going to use blue tones and a white, because I want to create, hopefully, like a beach scene. But you know, you never know with me, things change. I just get led, and there's too much of that. I just want a little bit of white, not too much of white. So that's enough, and let's fill these up nicely. So they're almost full. So what I'm going to use here today is a little bit of steel blue. This is a metallic paste, and for all you newbies out there, always stir your metallic paste, because, or any paste really, because it does help to mix it all in properly. So I'm using, should be about 5%, so that's about 5% going in there. And then I'm gonna get some, my other knife. Use any utensil that you got handy, you know, knives, stirrers, spoons, whatever works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, 5, 6, 7. We'll make it 7 for now, because I might need to add more. I don't want it too transparent. So this one is a tint. Its name is Horizon, and it's quite a transparent, but it's a gorgeous color, a really nice color. So mixing your transparents with your solids and your metallics really create lovely effects. So let's see how that is quite transparent. I might add some more. I don't want it that transparent, but you could do what you want. So I added another couple. So that is that, and I'm going to get a little bit of my white and get a clean stick, and then just a tiny little bit. I don't need a lot of my angel white to go in this tiny little bit. So that's about maybe, I don't know, half an ounce in there, actually less, maybe 1/3 of an ounce. And I'm looking for transparency here. That to me looks too transparent for a white, so I can't dip that same stick back into my white, so I'm going to use another one. And these also are reusable. You can use them over and over again. The stirrers, you just got to make sure that you clean them. So this is what I'm going to do. Pop it in there. Grab my alcohol wipe. Some people use baby wipe. I had no success with baby wipe. I don't think they work good at all. But these alcohol wipes have got a little bit of isopropyl in them, and they work great. And if you've got some, you know, pure isopropyl alcohol, which I do, I keep it in this bottle here, and then I get a paper towel and dunk it there, and it soaks it in. Or a spray bottle like that. You spray some alcohol in your, you know, it really does help clean things. Alcohol is the only thing really that cleans resin. So that is that. Move this stuff out of the way, and let's, oh yeah, I've got to stir this one up. Duh. So here we go. I'm just going to stir this one nice and easy. And every time you sort of stir your pigment, whatever pigment you're using, liquid, powder or paste, you've got to give it a really good stir. Scrape your stirrer on the side and then go over it again and again, just to make sure that it, you know, you don't get spots that don't set. We don't want that, that's for sure. Now I have a little bit of clear left, not much, so I'm just gonna actually wipe my canvas first, just because I had some bits and pieces. I don't prime my canvases first, because they're already, if you get a good quality canvas, these were given to me by a friend of mine who is wonderful, and already primed, and they're good quality canvas, so I don't need to prime them again. They're fine. If you're using anything like you know, MDF board or things like that, timber, glass, you might, well, you would be recommended that you prime them with some gesso or paint, anything, just to allow resin to grip to it. But resin will grip to this no problem at all. Soaks it in, and it's just wonderful. Also make sure that your surface is leveled, so you get one of those little level tools, and make sure that it's leveled so you don't get all the resin or your acrylic paint sort of running off. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing the top, I'm not doing the sides just yet. We'll see what happens. And I'm doing my work on a silicone mat just because it's so much easier to pick up your resin once it's been, you know, set. Oh, now don't do that, but it's okay, don't worry. Look how pretty that color is. It's called Horizon, and I think I'm going to have too much resin here, but let's go. Just going to do a darker, oh look at it, layer up top. That is so nice. It's really loose, the resin. Like I said, it's pretty warm in here. Oops, not the white. And then we're going to have our lovely, let me just bring this up a little bit. And I like to use my hands, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You can use a spatula or your stirrer. I like to use my fingers to spread this around. And it's already creating some amazing effects just with resin. With canvases, another thing you got to remember, guys, is that often you need to do another coat, because it does tend to, even with the trick, you know, watering it, wetting it at the back, it still sort of separates from the edges a little bit. Unless you're using a really thick resin, then it flows over and it covers that, but you tend to get these white sort of lines, and then you have to do another coat. But that's no problem, you can always do that and don't worry about it. Now let's see. With this one, I just want to get some sort of stripes. I do have too much resin, I'll have to do another coaster or something. And that also is quite transparent. Let's see what I can do. Very loose, the resin is. I'm going to go all the way. See how it's quite transparent? That's just the way I mixed it. But it's a really nice combination, these two. And that is done now. So now what I'm going to do is just use my fingers to spread it around a little bit. Just there, and then I'm just going to use my, actually I've got a little bit of this left, add some more there. See how loose it is? It's when I do that, you can see how sort of thin that is. Still no leaks for the moment, but I want to use like a spatula or something to, I don't want anything too wide. I want something just to cut through it. That's what I want to do. And I'm gonna, so now that this particular pigment, this metallic, is on my stick, I'm just going to go over and sort of mix it in a little bit. So I'm picking up pigment as I'm going and moving it up. So I'm picking up some of this one now. I'm going to move it down. I'm going to go again until I'm happy. And with this sort of zigzaggy back and forth, slightly curved action, I am creating a little bit of a wave, sort of suggestion of a wave. See? And I'm going to keep going because I want more of that dark blue down here. But you can use a stick, you don't have to use this knife that I'm using. I just saw Tish from Naptime Creations using a knife, and I thought, oh, I've got a ton of knives. I might give them a go. So, you know, you watch other people's videos as well. You'll learn so many things and get so many interesting ideas. So, yep, I know I'm splashing everywhere. Bloody hell. No, not to worry. Right, clean. These plastic things are great because you can just clean them and they're ready to go next time, nice and clean. And also clean your surface as you go too, because you'll find that you're saving yourself a whole lot of headache the next day when everything sets up and doesn't want to come off your board. Right, enough lecturing. Let's get there with the white. Now, before I put the white on, I want to put a little bit of clear. So I might have a wave here because it looks like naturally there would be a nice wave there. Let's see if I can just put a little bit of clear there. Clear just helps the movement. Okay, sorry about the interruption. I had somebody knock on the door. Right, so I'm just going to drag it actually because it didn't fall the way I wanted it to. Let's see if I can give it another go. So one there, I might do another one maybe that way. See if I can. I'm just going to drag it only because there's not a lot of that white, clear, pardon me. And where to put another one? I might even just put it here. Let them all go the same sort of direction. They're all kind of going sideways. And it's already shimmery from that beautiful steel blue. Or blue steel. Can't even remember. I have so many pigments I can't even remember what they're called. Right, and I named them, which is pretty bad. So let's see. The white. This is the Angel White. It's bar none the best pigment for creating effects. Like waves and things like that. I do want a little bit more. Let me try and get. Sometimes you can use a pipette if you're careful, especially if you're doing those beautiful flower coasters. Pipette's really good for that. And I'm just going to drag it, and as a lot of air bubbles coming out. Bugger me. There you go. It's alright because all those little, it's like texture, it's going to create a different kind of wave. Does help if I don't let the air come in. Stop it right there, and now shouldn't be any air bubbles coming through. Fingers crossed. Because this is quite a dense pigment, a lot of it sinks down. I've got to wipe it because I was dragging it in the blue. And I want to clean pure. Millie, it's okay. Sorry, my dog. I usually don't have her in here, but I've got some other visiting dogs, so I have to keep her in here with me. Okay. Not happy with that. I want it nice and white. So I've got to keep it above that blue a little bit so it's not getting all mixed in with the blue. So that should be enough. We shall see. Now your good friend when it comes to making waves is your heat gun or the blowtorch. I am definitely going to have to do another coat to cover those. Another thing you can do is wait for it to start setting a little bit, and then you pull this down and it stays like that. So that's that one done. And now this one. And it will go over the edges, and then you can pick up whatever falls underneath. And you can also get tiny little shells and things like that and put them around, which I might do. I've got lots of those. Let's go. I might get my torch first. I reach over if it's still got any juice in it. No, not a lot of juice. Okay, it's not bad actually. I don't have a lot in there. I think I'm going to put a little bit more white think the white's very thin. And I tend to put too much white in it, and I've been so careful, and now I'm not putting enough. We're all learning. Doesn't have to be a perfect line, as long as you don't mix it in too much. A bit more. Alright, let's give it a go now with the heat gun. Heat gun, the cheapest one you can get. They don't have to be super... I find the more expensive ones are too complicated to use. But it depends, you know, when you get more experience in doing this, then yeah, you can invest in a nice heat gun. I'm just using a cheapy one for now. I've got about 3 of them. Some of them more expensive, some less, but anyway, let's go. Here we go. Low heating first. Oops, that was wrong. Now I'm going to hit the high heat. This only has two settings, high and low heat, and that's it. I'm going to go up from down, up. And I'm going to leave it alone and let it pull in. And you're going to see all kinds of little bubbles and things happening. I've got my little baby torch here. Look at those cells. Didn't even try hard. Did not even try hard. I have a tiny little bit of white left, and I do want to add some more white here because I seem to have lost bit of that white. Still looks pretty funky, and I like it that is not a straight line. You know how some people do the waves, which is also pretty, but the wave is kind of like perfect. This is like going, it's like an aerial view, so you've got all kinds of different shapes. So I'm just going to go around. I am actually dragging it this time. Not to worry. Let's get some more. If I can suck it up here, be great. I don't have a lot left, so I've got to be careful what I do. Definitely want some more white here. And even those air bubbles that are popping out of the pipette, it's giving some effects. Can you see that? And that white is very, very heavy. It's very dense, so that's why it's sort of falling down like that. Let's go up here a little bit. I'm just going to drag this. I think so. I should have mixed up a little bit more white, and not to worry, and I don't have any more. That's pretty much it. It's going to have to do for now. What I will do is I might do something with this top area here. What to use? Let's try this one. Okay, so it's kind of like a really subtle ocean scene. And that's good there too. And I don't think whoa, nice. I don't want to do anything. I'm going to go grab some shells and pop them on, just to give it a little bit of interest. And that is beautiful to me. It's very subtle. And if you have like 2 or 3 in a row, this is only about 8 inches, about 20 centimeters. So get another 1 or 2, and you've got a beautiful triptych sort of scene, and that's going to change as well. So let me go grab something. Okay, so I just had some handy here, a couple of little shells just from my local beach. They're nothing fancy, they're just actually quite interesting looking. Not perfectly perfect. And maybe that one here. I will clean that. And I have some really nice abalone shells, which I will pop on as well. I love these. I've got them in the shop. If you're interested in getting some, I'm just going to pick them. They're so pretty. Look at that. Absolutely love them. They're not cheap, but oh god, they just add so much interest to your piece. And that's, you don't need a lot, you know, so it's worth it. And I think that's probably enough. Maybe some here in the corner. Put my hand underneath so I don't lose any. Ah, stuck my finger right in there. Bugger me. Anyway, here we go. There, and I've got some drippage happening. I'm just going to go around and do the sides so that, you know, I like that. What do you think? Let me know. Definitely will do another coat, or I might just, oh excuse me, that was a sneeze. I might just wait for it to thicken a little bit, and then I'll just pull this down and then cover those edges. I don't know, we'll see what happens. But I do want to fix that. There, that's done. Just broke it a little bit, that's all. Woo, hot, hot, hot. That's another thing you got to remember. Resin gets really hot, especially when it's heated like that. So, okay, let me show you how I'm going to go about this one. See over here? I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't see it, but no, you can't see it. Okay, you're just going to have to trust me, okay, because I don't want to mess things up. Down here I have some drippage, so I'm just going, it looks so pretty. Unbelievable. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just going to use my knife and pick it up, and then I'm going to pull it through. Maybe up here actually. I think I might need some there. Here we go. Look at that. Okay, and then I'm going to give it a... Never hold your heat over your piece for too long. I'm not going to put any more on there. I think I'm happy with that, but I do want to go and do the sides. So what I do is, there's not a lot of drippage. Oh, there's a fair bit over here. So I might just flip it around like that. See, there's quite a bit there. I'm going to pick some of that up and just do the sides. So that's what I'm going to do. Pick it up like that and rub it on the sides. It does help. It just finishes the picture. You don't have to. You can tape the edges. That's quite okay. Depends on what you want to do. You choose. And I always go down like that. I don't rub it like that, because at least you get, there's a bit of blue, there's a bit of white there, and you get some stripes. Just, yeah, it looks better. Looks better. So that's what I'm doing, and that's it from me, guys. I am going to see you again tomorrow morning, which will be just in a second for you, when this is all set up, and I'll show you what it looks like and how it's changed. You can see it changing already, and you can see that white kind of disappearing. And you can also do this, like move it around, tilt to where you want it to go. I just need to pick up some of that and put it down like that. Anyway, I'll be back, you guys, and you stay. Don't go anywhere. Okay, lovies, I forgot to show you this. See what I mean? This area here, this is what happens when you get your drips onto canvas on its own. That area there didn't have any, see, there's no yellow masking sort of fluid on here, so you can see how it damages the back. Now some people say it doesn't worry them because they can always cover it up, but sometimes the damage is worse, where you actually rip the whole thing. I've done it before. So this tape. And like, I'm not selling this, I'm not trying to sell you something, but I think it'll save you a lot of grief and trouble, because look, it's coming off beautifully off that canvas. So you just bring it up to the edge, and I'm just using, I don't even have any nails, but maybe I'll need something like, oopsie, a palette knife or something, just to sort of help it a little bit. See? No damage. And be careful, because you can rip the other side, so just be mindful. It looks fiddly because I'm not sort of doing it right. Here we go. So it comes off real easy. Pull this one. So I've already done that area there. And you just keep going like that. And so what I do is when I come to the edge, I don't rip it over that way. I just go like this. See? You have to excuse my fingers. I was pouring some paste into jars because I'm running low on stock. So and I get a little bit messy, and you can't, some of the pastes sneak under my nails, and then I can't get them off. So that's what I do. See, I just go backwards that way. Easy. Look at that. I'll definitely be using the masking fluid from now on, or latex or something like that. Look at that. How easy that come off. Okay, lovies, here it is. I've lost a lot of my waves, but they kind of blended in, so it looks very nice and subtle. I like it like this. Here's my little shells and things that I popped in there. Let's have a look at the sides. Not too bad, not too bad. But what I want to do is I want to do another coat. So this is it for this video. I will do another coat, and just to show you how to apply another layer of not just waves but color as well. So we're going to go with some transparent colors, so you can still see through to the original layer, and then add some nice thick waves this time. Okay, so thanks for watching for now, and I'll see you again in another video. Stay tuned for the next one.